What's happening, people? It's your girl Mina. Welcome back to my channel, man. You lot already know what it is. And today, I know yesterday was a bit of a horrible one, but today I'm joined by a very special guest, and we got a bit to talk about because I know he's got a bit to say, obviously, about yesterday's result. No introduction needed.
Yeah.
No introduction needed.
Big up. Thanks for having me. Big up to Mina. Love to see that you got your own channel as well. So, yeah, man, it's exciting. It's good, but obviously for United, it's not looking good. It's not looking good. It's been a very very. I'm not saying bad season because we're kind of in around where we're meant to be anyway. In terms of Premier League, but Champions League, oh man, letdown. Big letdown.
Do you
So
really think that
yeah, I'm sure we'll chop it up.
do you really think we are where we're meant to be? Honestly, because last season, how we performed, went into the summer transfer window, spent money. So are you saying that we are 6 places where we were meant to be, where we're ahead of kind of the schedule?
No, but the thing is, last season, I'm not saying he overachieved because I always think with United, you can't really say he overachieved, yeah. But in reality, we went where we went to be last season, but we were meant to kick on. But the aim was still this season top four. I predicted us to finish third again. I thought United could finish third again. Obviously, we're not finishing third. I don't think so for me. But like, I just think we're going to be in a top five battle. So that's why I'm like, the aim is still going to be top five. But the problem is, the reason why I'm still not happy and I'm not still not convinced is because we're not playing we're not playing better football. We've not improved. We've regressed for me. That's my own opinion. I feel like we've regressed massively from where we were last season, and we were meant to improve with the signings that he brought in. But now we're having conversations about every single signing that he's coming to the football club. Like every single signing, apart from maybe even Hoyland, like we're still having conversation about when he's going to score in the Premier League. Every single signing, there's a question mark around it, and obviously the manager's brought them in, and he's not facilitated that kind of smooth transition. So yeah, it's not looking good, man. So I feel like for me, still the aim is still going to be top five. Whether he gets, if everyone feels a bit disappointed by that, that's down to your individual analysis. But for me, it was always top five. But there's now context to it because then that means I'm not fulfilled because the football's not great. You know.
You said obviously you touched on the manager, his signings, and let's talk about yesterday's game because I think the biggest howlers came from his signing, and it was Andre
Yeah.
Onana. But a lot of people are forgetting that 90% of the fan base were calling for David De Gea to leave. I feel like it's David De Gea. It's revision of what he was at Manchester United.
Yeah.
Where do you stand on the Onana thing? Where do you stand on the Onana thing before we get into the
He
actual
needs to be
game?
benched. He needs to be benched. Now, I'm a real G. He needs to be benched. Like, that's unforgivable. That's why I'm not even blaming the manager too much yesterday. I'm just blaming it solely on Onana. He played against us. Like, I'm being serious. He played against us because the first goal, yeah, he needs to be telling the wall to be better. Like, he needs to be commanding the wall. Like, that gap should never have happened. And that comes down to the goalkeeper asserting his authority on the wall. And then he's so flat-footed. And I'm like, what are you doing, bro? Like, why are you flat-footed like that? The ball's not even coming. It's a bit far out as well. It's not even as if it's right on the edge of the D. It's a bit far out. And the ball's not moving at an unbelievable pace. And he just looks like, oh, I've not seen that. Oh, my bad. Like, bro, everything's okay. And I just feel like for me, that goal was horrendous. But a second goal, but even for a second goal, look at the goal, Icardi's offside
Yeah,
goal. Look at the way
Icardi's offside one. Yeah.
he dived early, and then he didn't even come to Icardi to say, "Yo, listen, I'm gonna make sure you don't score this." I'm not even. He doesn't even come to kind of assert his authority. You know, he just
It was
lets
a
him
similar
have
game
the
in the
freedom of the
Champions
goal.
League. I can't remember what game it was, but he didn't come off his line and he got dinked. I can't remember what game it was. It was earlier this
Zaha,
season.
you're talking about
It was
Zaha.
was it
Got
Zaha? He
dinked
did
over.
not come off his
Yeah,
line. He was just stationary and then got dinked. But do you think that this
and
Onana
Galatasaray as
issue
well.
and
Same
Galatasaray?
Galatasaray.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. Exactly. That he didn't learn from his lessons. So I don't know what's going through his head, but like he should have came for that one. That was a warning sign. But the second goal, oh my god, that's unforgivable. Man. Oh my, I genuinely I'm still like seething at the way he kind of mishandled that. And you know what's mad, yeah? You know what's so kind of telling of it? Every single player didn't look back. They went straight towards the kind of halfway line because they knew he effed up again. Like he messed up again because they knew it's almost like they become like, you know what, it's happened now. It's happened. Like, don't worry, it's happened. And that's what they've done. So
But that's
I feel
hanging.
like for
I'm
me,
sorry. That's not okay. That's hanging your player out to dry because I swear, if you're
well,
a
there you
team,
go.
You're meant to ride together, you die together. And even at the end of the game, I saw he took off his gloves, dashed it on the floor. No one's going over here to him. Everyone's just going over, shaking hands with the
I can't lie, I'm
opponents,
not really
heading
buying
straight
into
down the
that.
tunnel.
Yeah, he could do whatever he wants, mate. But you know what I mean? I get it. He's a bit sad on that. But bro, like, you need to do better, bro. But I get it what you mean. Like nobody came to help him. That's for the teammates. I get it. They should be doing, but they're just thinking we played well though, Mina. They're thinking we played unbelievable and
We
you let
didn't
us
play
down.
well. Why does everyone think we played well?
No, but
Basketball,
not to the
football is
standards
not
of Man
playing
United,
well.
though. No, but to the
Basketball,
standards of Man
football.
United.
Nah, even to the
Come on.
standards of maybe the standards this season. Maybe the standards this
That's what I'm
season.
saying. The bar's low.
Maybe
The bar's
the
low.
bar is on the ground. It's not even low, it's on the floor.
It's on the floor. But I didn't think we played badly. Okay. We didn't play great, but I'm saying we didn't play badly. We didn't play like the old Man United. We peppered their goal. We didn't. Obviously, we obviously the way we kind of mishandled the game is alarming, yeah. But we didn't play crazily bad. Do you know what I'm trying to say to you? That's where I'm at right now. And he cost us because I felt like every single time when we had something, he played against us because he's conceded too many goals. Even the third one, it's on his near post. What's he doing on his near post? You got to save that.
I think the errors for Onana, yeah, is equally is bad. But the football United were playing yesterday was not sustainable because we were on edge. Anytime Galatasaray had the ball, I'm sure I was on edge. I'm sure everybody else was on edge because you don't know what's going to happen, especially when you're playing basketball kind of football where it's up and down the field, up and down the field. You got 6 players on one side of the field and only 4 that are back half of the time. I don't think that's sustainable. And you said is not really the managers. I question the manager in terms of how he's set up, taking off Amrabat. 3-1 up, you do a like-for-like switch. You do Kobe for Amrabat. Okay, cool. Isn't that the point where you lock up? Isn't that the point where you solidify your midfield? I know everyone's kind of criticizing Onana, and I just think, why is it when players come to United, their heads are in the gutter? Why is it when players come to United, they lose form? I know you're a very a big Ten Hag outer. I know you're keen on that. But do you genuinely think that Ten Hag can turn it around, especially outside of Champions League football?
The thing is, for me, you talked about football not being sustainable. I look at Ten Hag football; it's just chaotic for me, man. It's just too much. Like we conceded 33 goals this season already, and we're not even December. 15 goals in the Champions League. We've also got, in terms of the Premier League, it's been again too much. Like we're only on like 0 goal difference. Everyone's celebrating 0 goal difference. Like that should be something you should be celebrating. Last season we only scored 58 goals. In all competition. I don't know how many we scored this season in all competitions, but it's not good enough for me. And my thing is, it's like it's just going to be so chaotic where we're going to give people chances to score. Like at least if you're pragmatic, you can say, right, okay, cool. You know what I mean? We're hard to beat, but we don't score enough goals. But we are just like we're free flowing in a way that it shouldn't be. That it shouldn't be allowed to happen in that game. It shouldn't be like, I don't know what's the word. It should be praised. It should have been praised. Like that kind of level of football where we're so open should not be praised. That should not be said. You know what? That is a Ten Hag way because it's not controlled for 90 minutes. Like at least with Arsenal now, yeah. You look at Arsenal, they got one of the highest in terms of like goals conceded. They hardly got any goals conceded, right? And with them, they control the game for at least 90 minutes.
But that's a work in progress. Come on, Arsenal are further along in their project than United are.
Yeah, but I get it. But then we also didn't start off from a bad place. Like he started off Arteta's squad compared to Ten Hag when he came on. Who would you say was a better squad? Ten Hag, right?
Definitely United. But I think if you're coming into a team where it's a mixture of 4 different managers and the players that they've signed, no matter how good them players are, it's going to be pants. It's not the players that you want. If United sacked Ten Hag, if they were to sack Ten Hag right now, we're back at square one. Now, Arsenal are 4 years ahead of us in their project. They're going to be 6 years ahead of us.
Okay. So then why not play the guys that you brought in then and not play the guys that you thought you were going to sell in summer, i.e. McTominay? If he's not going to give you control, so why are you playing him instead of Amrabat? Why are you not playing certain players in there? Varane. I'm not saying Varane is the answer or whatnot, but Maguire and Lindelof, they have a kind of ceiling. And you know they're going to let you down sooner or later in one shape or form. So I feel like if we can't say that he's not got his silence and then he keeps playing certain players that you think older than me. They should not be playing there. Like McTominay should have came off yesterday. McTominay should have came off. Amrabat should have stayed on. We should have played pragmatic, 3-1, short shop, bye-bye, see you later. We're winning the game. But what he did was he said, "Oh, call me Milo. Why don't you just do number 6 on your own? And McTominay won't help you out, bro. What is that? That for me again, it's not good enough. And I just look at it thinking he can get how many players he wants. I just think he's gonna have so many glaring mistakes in him. I just can see that with the manager. I just don't think over the course of it, you bring more players in. I think he brings in more problems because he can't even get the players in
Say
now that
more
he's
players,
got.
more problems.
Yeah, more players, more problems with him. Before it's not like that. You have more players, you less problems. Manager, more players, more problems. Every manager's bringing in now. We're having more problems with them. That's just my own opinion, by the way. So
I think McTominay played.
I just
I'll say I think McTominay played because you say that this Ten Hag style of football, Ten Hag is very adamant, it seems, that he's playing these 2 10s, no matter and a lone midfielder. He's adamant. He was doing it with Mount and Bruno. He's doing it with McTominay and Bruno. McTominay has turned into this. I swear, he's the only player in the world that I know that plays a 6, a 8, a 10, a 9, 11. He plays every position at the same time. And at the same time, he plays nowhere. It's actually kind of funny. I think Ten Hag is adamant to make his philosophy work, which is these 2 10s and a lone midfielder. And I think in yesterday's game, it could have worked. I mean, McTominay got a goal exactly from that. He was, not being tracked, running into the box, which is what I think Ten Hag is trying to do. The whole Maguire and Varane thing, we criticize Ten Hag for not showing a philosophy of football. But if he is adamant that he's playing a left-footed centre back on the left-hand side and a right-footed one on the right-hand side, why are we now so mad that he's sticking to his word? He's basically saying, "This is my way. This is how I'm going to play."
Yeah, but the thing is, though, what is your way, though? That's everyone's still scratching their heads as to what is a Ten Hag style of play because everything looks so kind of like 1 minute it's this, 1 minute it's that, 1 minute it's pragmatic, 1 minute it's on the front foot. Like this is the problem is for every decision that he makes, doesn't equal the action. It doesn't equal the results happening. You may see it in 3 or 4 games time. And also, do you know, by the way, this season the back line Ten Hag has rotated it the most times in the league. Yes, we've had injuries, yeah. But he's rotated it so many times. He can't even get down the right back position nailed on. You know what I mean? The left back, you never know. Luke Shaw, he could play centre back 1 minute. Like, we never know what the team is. We don't know what the 11 is sometimes, half of the time. So that, for me, that kind of consistency, the way we're playing, doesn't translate onto the football pitch. Doesn't translate into his 11. So his 11's thinking 1 minute, I'm like, Anthony played well yesterday. Does now Anthony start now against Newcastle? So where does it become a case of you have your reward of starting the next game? You know what I mean? So I just look at the way Ten Hag's playing is that he doesn't help himself. One thing about Ten Hag is that he's so stubborn, he doesn't help himself. And then it makes you, who maybe believe in the manager, thinking, hold on a minute, like, I'm scratching my head because I don't know what this guy's doing. Like, what is he really trying to do here? You know what I mean? So I don't know. I really don't know. And that's why for me, if a new manager came in tomorrow, I wouldn't mind it because I feel like at least then we might have an identity. Like we might have an identity because I don't know what the identity is. We're wasting our time with Ten Hag. That's just the way I kind of feel. Me, like,
it's
we are
crazy
wasting our time.
when people say they don't know what the identity is. It's crazy to me because I see it. I see the idea. I see the philosophy. If the players can't execute it, that's a different kind of conversation. The only issue I have with bringing in a new manager is you literally restart the same cycle that United have had for the last 10 years. So don't you think that at what point do you break the cycle? Is it the next manager?
What if Sir Jim does it? What if Sir Jim does it? Are you going to be happy with that?
If he comes in and sacks the manager, if he has his reasoning, then yeah. If he says that, because one thing I realized, Sir Jim Ratcliffe, what he said, well, actually, I don't know if he said it, but reports are saying that, the recruitment strategy that he's planning to have is not one that supports the manager's style of football, but the style of football the club want to play. And if you're saying the manager can't play the style of football that the club wants, then that's fine. But what is this style of football that Sir Jim Ratcliffe right now? It's all if, buts, maybes at the moment.
Yeah, cost.
Right now, I think, especially this season, a manager who has had 15 months and you're already thinking,
18 months, isn't it?
Nah, I'm talking about pure football. I'm talking the season, pure football.
Okay.
He's been here for 18 months, but the season started. He started at United in August.
But you know what,
summer transfer windows.
Did you expect the amount of pressing issues on the football pitch in these 18 months? Did you think that, you would get beaten convincingly by the Newcastle C team? Do you think that the amount of goals we've been conceding so far, do you think that after the first season, we'd regress from the first season? Like, did you think about all this stuff? Like, this is where I'm like, I gave it to Erik Ten Hag. I said, you know what? I'm not going to make a decision until around November, December time. And that's where I feel like I thought, hold on a minute. What are we actually trying to back here? What are we actually trying to see? My eyes don't lie to me. What I see right there, there's so many gaping holes in this Man United team. And I just don't trust Ten Hag to turn it around because I feel like he fundamentally believes in his own hype. When he just realized, yo, listen, the players that you got around you, you need to work towards them. You can't play this next level football and then say, oh, you know what, this is what this player suits. I don't know if even he knows what sort of players like what they suit and their capabilities are. Because you look at certain players, you're thinking they should be playing this kind of role. Like Luke, for example,
He's turned McTominay around. He doesn't play him as a holding midfielder.
McTominay does a lot without doing a lot. McTominay, for me, is the worst player for doing a lot without doing a lot. This guy scores a goal, but still was the worst player on the football pitch. How does that happen? Even Bruno Fernandes yesterday, he scored the goal, yeah, but let's be honest, what did he really do?
I don't think Bruno was bad yesterday, but that's just me being honest. I genuinely don't think he scored a goal and he got an assist. And I think everyone's tarnishing him because of the first free kick because he clipped the player. But it all started from McTominay. All of that started from a bad decision from McTominay. Bruno Fernandes, I think, putting him in the same category as McTominay, I think is a bit harsh. I think it's a bit harsh.
No, I'm not saying that. But I'm just saying, like, you know what it is with Bruno Fernandes, yeah? I need him to do midfield stuff. Like the problem is with our midfielders, yeah, they'll score a goal and they'll get a goal and an assist here. But for overall their midfield role, they don't do it well enough for me. Like they don't have an element of control. And this is where my thing is at right now with Ten Hag is that you go and get Amrabat here and Kobe Mino. They know their role. Then you allow Bruno Fernandes, yeah, to do his own thing and let him do his own thing. Then you can say, you know what, we can accommodate Bruno Fernandes' lack of discipline in that midfield because you've got two players behind him that know how to do their role. But then you've got McTominay in there, and then it leaves poor old Kobe Minu, poor old Amrabat, poor old Casemiro, which again I told you by that they're not the issue and they're not the problem. It's because there's no midfield structure in here. And right now, all of a sudden, what is everyone saying? Oh, I feel sorry for Kobe Mino. Why is he the one to be the last man there to be stopping the shot? Where's the midfield? Did you see that? Did you see that? By the way, did you see Kobe Mino when he won that ball? Where was McTominay for that? He should have been in the middle. Why was he in the middle?
He had no one to pass to. I think he had to go back to Luke Shaw or Lindelof or someone because he had no one to pass to.
He had to go back. Yeah. So I just think everything about Ten Hag it's false for me. And then he don't want to play the Ten Hag way. What do you mean not play the Ten Hag way? That's what we bought you here for, mate. We bought you here to play the Ten Hag way. So please do your job. Please. So I don't know, for me, it's going to take a long, long time for me to turn around and say, oh, I now see what Ten Hag's doing. For me, I'm firmly Ten Hag. I don't think he knows what he's doing. For me, we need to change the manager. But that's just me. Because I just think like right now, he doesn't have the competence to know what we're doing consistently as well. Like find a balance consistently. Sometimes it's at home, sometimes it's away. Sometimes it's Champions League, sometimes now it's Premier League. So have that balance and also have an element of control that we know we're in the game. 2-0, everybody knows we got this. Like, Miller, like, you want to be able to have a game, Miller, yeah, where in a game, 2-0, we got this. We got this. Like, we're good.
I'm never comfortable with 2-0. Like with United this season, I am not confident. If we're 5-0 up, I don't feel confident. I don't feel confident at all.
Wow,
going into the Galatasaray game, do you know what I said? Honestly, if we're 5-0 up, I'm not confident because I've seen us dish leads way too much. Going into the Galatasaray game, I said, if United score one goal, yeah, shut up shop. Why? Because in the Champions League this season, the only game we've won is when we score one goal. Anytime we score more than one goal, it's suddenly we lose our brains, we lose our minds, and we just don't know how to see a game out. And even yesterday, I think it's when it was 2-1 half time, I just said, Alhamdulillah, all praise to God that it's only 2-1 at half time, not knowing what was waiting for me in the second half. I'm not gonna lie. The whole Ten Hag out thing, I'll be honest, everyone knows. Like, I'm very much Ten Hag in. I support the manager. I support the idea for as long as I possibly can. My biggest issue is that he has a crop of players that he has to rely on as rotation players that have been shit over the last two managers. Diogo Dalot got a contract extension from 4 months of playing good football. He's here till 2029. We ain't going to be able to ship him off. 2029. Do you know how long that is? That is a very long time. Luke Shaw.
Why
Lindelof.
2029, by the way? Why 7 years?
He got a extension. I don't know. 2028 or 2029 is when he got his extension too. Which
That's crazy.
he's only on 85k. I'm not gonna lie. Is in Manchester United salary terms, that's not a lot.
Yeah.
But it's still difficult to offload. You got Luke Shaw still there. He's survived. How many managers has he survived? Lindelof, how many managers has he survived? McTominay, how many managers has he survived? Anthony Martial, how many managers he survived? I'm not gonna lie, I think we played better when Anthony Martial came on yesterday. I think we actually played better.
Speak. Honestly, I think Højlund, listen, don't get me wrong, I like Højlund, yeah, but I didn't really want Højlund in the summer. I wanted Vlahovic. So I watched a lot of Serie A.
I wanted Harry Kane. That Højlund and Onana money, I wanted Harry Kane.
We're never getting Harry Kane though.
Why?
That was a dream.
We could have Onana 50 million, Højlund 70 million, put it together. Levy would have had to accept. He would have had to.
So you would have kept David De Gea?
I said it in the summer that I would rather either keep David De Gea or get Diogo.
That's a good question, you know. Would you have kept David De Gea knowing that you would have got Harry Kane?
Yeah, 100%.
And not Mount.
100%. Because at least then I'm not begging my striker to score in the Premier League. Yeah, everyone's saying he's not getting service. But yesterday's game, purely I think he played for hold-up play. And even that, he wasn't doing it well. He was not doing it well.
Yeah.
He looks like he's missing a step. And also, I have a big issue with Man United's recruitment because it seems like this summer they allowed them to just buy players who are injured. Amrabat we brought injured. Mason Mount we brought, he was injured. Højlund, all of them had injuries. How are they passing medicals if they're injured? I don't get it. It's not making sense. It's not making sense. Nothing.
Again, that comes down to obviously we know how incompetent we are in it. You know what I'm saying too. And by the way, I don't like the fact that Murtaugh's everywhere now on the photos and everything, man. He needs to get sacked as well. Like, have you noticed he's everywhere now? You know, I feel like he's staying. You know,
it's the PR. It's the PR.
PR, man. It's just pissing me off, man. But I look at it, like I said to you, you know, the manager's got his signings in, but I told people about Mason Mount. Everybody was moaning at me saying, "Oh, Saeed, stop being negative, man. He's a good signing, etc., etc." I was like, "Nah, mate, he's not a good signing at all. Like, he's not that great." You know what I mean? And I think for me, he's again been a not a great signing and not been an impactful signing. Højlund, I think for me, you had to bring another striker with him, even if it was a mid striker, just someone that could come with him that you could swap in and around. Obviously, Martial's there, but Martial's got last season anyway. And then obviously, you know what I mean? You're looking at the Amrabat signing. I don't think Amrabat's a bad player. I genuinely think for me, Amrabat is not a bad player, but he's been painted out. Like, I don't get the fan base. The way they're painting out Amrabat's not that great. Like, bro, like, do you realize
I sit on the same
midfield's up?
I sit on the same fence. I think he's been bad because of the circumstances. If I was to be playing left back one game, drop the next game, center mid one game, hooked at halftime that game, don't get to see the only time. And the problem I have sometimes with Ten Hag, because you know me, I criticize Ten Hag. I criticize him. The problem I have with Ten Hag is that I think he's a liar sometimes. I genuinely think he's a big liar. Because he always talks about, you know, Maguire playing because he's been performing well, McTominay playing when he's performing well. Hannibal played well against Burnley, got dropped the next game. He played again. I ain't seen Hannibal. I don't know. He's maybe somewhere doing his hair routine. I have no idea, because free my boy Hannibal, because even when he plays well, I think it was one game where he was not disciplined and he got booked, and then people were worried he might get sent off.
Yeah, Newcastle, Carabao Cup.
We ain't seen him since. And that's why I feel like the manager's a bit inconsistent sometimes, because Amrabat had a game where he played well, got man of the match. I think it was his first man of the match of the season. We didn't see him again for like 2 games. And how do you expect players to pick up form if you keep dropping them out of rotation non-stop consistently? It's quite unfair. And the whole recruitment thing, you know, talk about Højlund, for example, because we're going to talk about it. Manchester United are now reportedly looking at 2 strikers in the Bundesliga. They're looking at Werner.
Yeah, I heard about it. Listen, that by the way, that striker, that people talk about Stuttgart, has he scored since? Has he been injured? He's injured now, isn't it? He's injured.
I think he's got like 15 goals in 9 games. But I will be very honest with you guys. He's good at Ultimate Team. In Ultimate Team on EAFC, I got him in my team. He's good. I haven't watched him for his club, so I can't sit here and be like, yeah, he's a baller. But
yeah, I'm not watching him.
Read,
who's that? Sorry.
From what I've read, he looks decent. And I think he's got a release clause that's only valid until January, which is like 25 million. But really and truly, where's United getting that 25? We didn't even have the money to buy Amrabat in the summer. What makes you think we're going out in January?
Yeah, no. We ain't buying anyone like that. I'll be honest with you. My thing is, yeah, we go and get we need a striker in January. That's the thing, though. But I don't know how good this guy is. That's the issue for me. Like, I don't think he's that good. Like, he's scoring Bundesliga, but listen, Bundesliga is they play with a high line, etc., etc. Like, I'm not sure. I like that striker from RB Leipzig. You know, what's his name? Oh, he
Shit.
scored against Man City. I've watched him
Yeah.
a few times now.
I forgot what his name was. Shit.
Oh,
It's
guys, let
literally
us
on
know
the
in the chat.
it's literally on the tip of my tongue. Someone just mentioned it in the chat. Where is it?
RB
Someone
Leipzig striker.
Sesko, there you go.
Openda. Be the
Openda,
big
there
one.
you go.
Yeah,
He's good
Openda.
as well. He's good. But again, if we're going to RB Leipzig, please bring me Simakan. Don't bring me a striker. Bring me Mohamed Simakan. Right, he's a right-sided centre back, and he could play right back.
Okay,
I would take that.
yeah.
Strikers, I would take Taremi, but people know I've been saying since the summer United should have gone Taremi. He's a goal scorer. He's a goal poacher. I don't think he's doing that well this season for Porto, but the last couple of years he's been banging 20, 30 goals in the league and then Champions League on top of that as well. And he's in his last 6 months of his contract, so United could get him on a loan and then maybe on a permanent.
Okay, yeah, that's true. You know, the thing is, I'm just a bit. I just don't want Ten Hag to get any more favors. I'll be honest with you. I'd rather go signingless for the rest of the season. You know,
What?
and then wait till the football.
That's how
some
badly
football
you want the
comes in.
manager out, that you would rather go signing.
No. Because you know what it is? I'm scarred by the manager picking players, you know. I'll be real with you, man. He shouldn't be allowed to pick any more players. If it's a football club buying a player, then fair enough. Maybe they might see something or whatnot. I don't want Ten Hag touching any more money. Listen, I don't want him doing anything. Now, I'm being serious, you guys. He has bought some bad players in his football club. Like, this guy has been... You tell me a good signing of Ten Hag.
I will be very honest,
Sancho, that's it for me.
I will be
and
very
Casemiro.
honest, guys. Yeah, I'll be honest. Yeah, and you might want to even kick me off my own channel for this, but I think Mason Mount will be a good prospect for United. I just think it's unfortunate, a series of unfortunate events.
He's 25.
If we get the Mount that we saw with Chelsea when he was at his best in his career, I will honestly think that he will do a good job at United. Genuinely.
Where would he play though? Where would he play?
I would play him not with the 2 10s as with Bruno, because the thing is, I think Bruno and Mount can only coexist if one of them sits deeper. Which one sits deeper? That's the question. Is it Bruno that sits deeper?
What's the point then?
Is it Mount that sits deeper? Which one is it? I think they could coexist in it. You know how they say, like,
they can't coexist.
Two legends can't coexist.
They're not going to coexist. It would never happen. Bruno Fernandes and Mount will never play well together. Never. I'm just saying it right now. You may have odd isolated games. Bruno Fernandes and Mason Mount will never play well together. It's not going to happen. The two, for me, Mount wants to be Bruno, and Bruno can't do what Mount does in terms of his discipline and his running and what. Like, he can't do that. Bruno is a final transition player. Final transition. He can't dictate. He can't, start doing the regista role. He can't do that. Whereas Mason Mount, to be honest with you, for what we bought, I don't know if he warrants being in the team, like, as a main guy anyway, because he don't really give you anything. He's got 1 assist this season, and that was against a cross to Casemiro in the Carabao Cup.
Has he played a full 90? Has he played a full 90 this season, Mason Mount? I don't think he has. I don't think
he has. No.
Again, why were we buying players that were injured anyway? That's
What are you dropping for McTominay? So is McTominay getting dropped now while Mount is at the football club? Do you reckon McTominay gets dropped? I don't think he does.
I think McTominay, has the United Academy thing over Mount.
No, but also I feel like the manager loves.
Are you saying McTominay is better than Mount?
No, Mount is better than McTominay, but it's mid versus mid. If I'm being honest with you. But my thing is, I think the manager now loves McTominay because he gives him hard yards. He gives him a lot of running around. He shows a bit of fight, shows a bit of passion. He gets a few goals here and there. Like, Mount, is Mount getting McTominay's goals? This season? Like, is he getting it? Let's be honest. At least McTominay gives you goals. What does Mount give you? Doesn't give you anything.
I can't say because I generally, guys, I don't think I've seen enough of Mount at United. I can't go off Chelsea. I don't think I've seen enough of him at United. Every time he gets into the starting lineup and he starts a game or he starts 2 games, he's injured next game. He's out.
Yeah, I know.
And then he's out for a couple
weeks. He's injury prone. That's the problem. He's injury prone.
And I think is for me it is unfortunate with Mason Mount, but I'm the kind of person where I will give you a solid 6 months, 9 months to really see. I'm not gonna be like I know a lot of people from the jump were like Mount's not gonna do it, but you never know, he could prove you wrong. So I will give him the benefit of the doubt. Same with Onana. I'm seeing people saying that, you know, he should be benched. Yeah. I'm seeing people saying I'm sure you're on the same assumption that he should be benched for Bayinda. But for me, it's like, if you bench him, doesn't that then impact his mentality even more?
I don't care. Wallahi, I don't care, man. I'm tired of this. Feel sorry for his mentality. Listen, we need to have 2 keepers playing at the top of their game. Like, we need to have a system where, you know what? Both keepers are like, oh, I don't know if I'm playing this week. I get it. It's not good for the team to not have a full number 1. But the way Onana's been playing badly, he needs to be dropped for his own good. So he plays at least well in the AFCON. You know, he can be a bit more mentally strong in the AFCON. For me, Onana needs to be dropped. Bayenda needs to be given a chance. Did you not see his agent today speaking? He goes, I'm coming for his number 1 spot. I feel like right now, we'd rather play Bayendin against Newcastle, find out what he's about. So by the time it comes down to, I don't know, when is it, AFCON, we then can let Onana go, and then Bayendin's got that experience. Say, yo, cool, I'm ready. He's Turkey's number 1, by the way. You know that, by the way. Turkey's number 1.
How many goals did they leak in the World Cup?
World Cup.
Remember when everyone was hyping Turkey up?
Did he play in the World Cup though? Did he play in the World Cup?
Euros, last Euros. Remember when everyone was hyping up Turkey, saying, "Oh, dark horses."
But did they even was he even starting for
I'm sure
Turkey,
he was. But my point is that you can be your country number 1, and still, Onana's an example. He's Cameroon's number 1, and he's making errors left, right, center.
No, but when people say it's like some people are saying he's not anybody, he's not nobody, and you know he's kind of a dead like player. Like, bro, like at least we can see what he's about. You know, like Tom Heaton for me. Let's start Tom Heaton then. You know what you're getting with Tom Heaton. He's a steady Eddie. He don't make mistakes. You know, and he might not play off on the back as easy as them two, but he's a steady Eddie. Play Tom Heaton. Onana needs to be dropped for the betterment of the team. For the betterment of the team. He needs to be dropped. And this mentality thing, well, we'll find out if you can make it or not, innit? If you can find out, like, are you the guy
manager
or
was
not?
Never going to drop Rashford. When Rashford was in poor form, still was in poor form.
The manager's not brave enough.
He weren't going to drop. When Bruno was doing bad, didn't drop him.
Bottling it.
Anthony didn't drop him. So is it really harsh? I think it's quite harsh to be like, yeah, you have to drop the number 1 keeper. I think that's actually harsh.
Anthony didn't have that case around him. Would he have been dropped? Let's be honest. Let's be true. If Anthony didn't really have that case around him, would he have even been dropped? He would have probably been still playing by now. So it's, you know what? It's really, really peak. And Anthony could come back in. You never know. Rashford obviously will come back in and whatnot. But Garnacho might be dropped now all of a sudden. I don't know.
I don't think Garnacho will be
dropped. What he's going to do.
It's a lot of if, buts, maybes. But what do you think about Pellistri?
I'm Pellistri's biggest fan, you know. I'll be real with you. Biggest fan. Like, honestly, I rate Pellistri. From when he came in, like, you know, when he was coming, I was always one I said, yo, he's better than Lilanga, man. He's better than Lilanga. I was running with that. But you know what? I just think for me, he hasn't got that kind of Garnacho aura. That's the problem with him. He ain't got that kind of dog in him where he can score goals, and he's just a facilitator. He's one that wins the ball back. You see the 2 goals that we scored against Everton, against Fulham, that's down to Pellistri. So his endeavour helps him out a lot. So I feel like he's the kind of guy that, you know what, fair play to him. At least he's a guy who's humble and, you know, he's trying and whatnot, etc., etc. So I don't know. I would just say, for me, he's never going to make it by United. So cash in on him, possibly. But again, you know, I don't know. I just feel like for me, he's not that. He's a good kid, but he's a squad player, isn't it? That's what we can hope for, like squad player vibes. He ain't got that killer instinct. He's too soft for me, man. You know, in that regard. He's a good player. He's a good dribbler. He's probably a better dribbler than Anthony, for being honest with you. You know, probably a better dribbler than most dribblers that we've got in the football club. Like, he's actually a good dribbler. But the problem is, he ain't got no end product, and he ain't got no scoring. Like, he ain't that guy.
Yeah, he ain't got shooter boots. I think we saw it yesterday. He ain't got shooter boots. But big up to Nick with the super chat, says big up Mina and Saeed. I agree with Saeed. Onana, thumbs down. I think this Onana thing is going to be the thing that is the topic of discussion. I think every game it's the topic. It's going to be the topic of discussion whether he makes an error.
End the topic then in terms of the manager. Like, yo, end it. Like, yo.
Do you think he should be
Don't
sold
play him, innit?
or just not played?
No. I'm not gonna say sold. No, not yet. I think for me it's too early to say that. I just think for me right now, is he better than De Gea? I don't think he's better than De Gea. Or no. I'm being honest with you. So if he's not better than De Gea, then
still unemployed. He's still unemployed.
Yeah, but then again, I don't like when people say that, because I feel like he's rejected Saudi Arabia. He don't want to play Saudi, and maybe his demands of wages are too high, and that's why maybe he hasn't got a club yet. But I think he'll be somewhere in January. I think a club will come in for him in January. Maybe he just don't want to make that decision right now.
Sevilla
didn't want him.
Sevilla didn't want him. They sold Bonu, their number one keeper. They still didn't want De Gea. Real Madrid went for Azpilicueta. Not Azpilicueta, sorry, Ariza Balaga. Kepa,
Yeah.
that guy from Chelsea, they took him over David De Gea. I don't think a team in Europe is looking in his direction. And I'm not gonna lie, I think it's quite brave of him to turn down chances in Saudi if he thinks he can still play at that, top European level kind of thing. But I don't know, man. I think for people to say, oh, Onana is, David De Gea is better than him. One's in a job.
Yeah, but the thing is, one's in a job, but you know what I mean. He's in a job because Ten Hag wanted him as well. You know what I mean. In that regards, as obviously he could have still been at Inter. I think when you're at Inter, though, you don't get these kind of shots coming out. You don't get this kind of scrutiny as well. You know what I mean? Like there's no like.
You don't have a
Inter
shitty
Milan are
defense.
not doing podcast. Yeah, it's also got a string of defense, but I think like Inter Milan are not analysing it like us doing podcasts and doing da. They just say, you know what, it is what it is. We move with Mike Mania. He makes a lot of mistakes. Mike Mania makes a lot of mistakes. People don't realise that. So in Serie A league, it's different to the Premier League. Premier League is so like you got so many people analysing your game. Like it's hard, man. So I feel like for me, it's different in the La Liga. But at the same time, I just look at it and I think, you know what, man, you've got to sort yourself out. You've got to sort yourself out, and start playing better now. Enough is enough now. You know what I mean? We're trying to help you. We're trying to, do whatever we can for you, but you're not doing your own kind of like things like help yourself out. So I don't know. I think Ten Hag, will he drop him? I don't think he will. He'll stick by him like the way he stick by in what's his name?
Russian.
Yeah, he's sticking by him as well. So he's going to stick by this manager as well, by this player as well. So
on the weekend, obviously, we're playing Newcastle, 8 p.m. kickoff. What do you think in terms of predictions? We held a battering against their B team or C team. I think it was even their C team that we held a battering.
It's going to be tough, under the lights. They're going to be pissed off as well because they didn't win against PSG. I think it's going to be very, very tough, like genuinely tough game. So I'm not looking forward to this game at all. I just got to hope that, we turn up and we just get a result. I'm not going to lie to you. This is going to be a very ugly game. They got so many combative midfielders. They're going to be in your face. You talk about the way we were so like naive to like situations. Look at the way they're going to be so naive to it. Like they're going to be absolutely like, they're going to be like, wow, like this is going to be every move. Maguire, Isak's going to be running onto him. Like, the defenders, the cells, like we've got to be on point. The atmosphere as well. Can we cope with that as well? So I'm not lying, they're going to be in our faces. Lewis, that Miley kid looks good in there. Bruno Gomes, Joe Linton, physical. Joe Linton bullied our midfield when we played at Old Trafford. Like they've got options. They've got very, very much so many options on the pitch. So it's going to be so tough. I can't see us winning the game. We'd be lucky to get a draw. We'd be lucky to get a draw.
Listen, Saturday night, 8 p.m. Long.
Yep.
Long.
Saturday night, 8 p.m. as
away
well.
from home. That's absolutely long. My biggest concern is it comes from Onana, actually, is the fact that he parries the ball away a lot. Second goal against Galatasaray, he was trying to parry it. I don't know why. Isak scored exactly like that against Donnarumma, in the midweek PSG game, and he does that very well. He pounces onto the rebound. Like Isak is making a run at the keeper before he's even made the save, and I know for a fact he's going to be doing it a lot. Why? Because Newcastle are going to analyze, Onana. They're going to say this guy does not know how to catch a ball. He's just going to try to tap it away every time, go for the rebound. I think we will be very lucky to keep a respectable respectable goals conceded. If I'm being honest, I'm not convinced with Lindelof. There's one person that I've been not convinced with this season is Lindelof. I feel like he's actually gone under the radar when it comes to a lot of the criticism that goes the players' ways. I think last season, the last couple months when he came in, when Lisandro Martinez got injured, everyone was talking about Iceman this, compose that. He's been the most undisciplined player in our backline, I think.
Remontada FC, man. That's what we are, you know. We're Remontada FC. That's what we are, man. United. It's like everyone, oh, he's back now. That player's back. Oh, McSauce is back. Only our football club can do that, you know. After being here so many years, like this player's back, and then we hate them in the next couple of months. That's why now, for me, I'm just like, you know what? Like, nah. Like people say, oh, do you want to sell this player? Listen, I would sell most players. The only players I would keep in this squad, yeah, if I had any power,
Go on, let me
and I
count
wanted him to stay so strongly, would be Hoyland, Lisandro Martinez. I'll be real with you. That's probably it. I know Casemiro and Varane are not long term. Yeah, I only like 2 players in the squad that I would rather I could keep. Like everyone else, if you told me everyone else could get displaced and we get a new team, I swear to you, I wouldn't be against it. Oh yeah, sorry, Garnacho. I keep Garnacho. I think he's a good kid. Kobe Mino.
Okay,
But they're
4.
youngsters, in it, so
Yeah.
they're gonna be different. So yeah, that'll be it. Everyone else, yeah. Listen,
Onana?
if someone said to me, Onana tomorrow, you're getting a better keeper, I take Onana. I take the other better keeper. I swear down.
You know what's funny?
Who would you keep?
I'm not.
Who would you keep? Who would you keep?
I would keep those 4 you mentioned. I would keep. Wallahi, yeah. I'd keep Rashford. I think.
Rashford,
Yeah.
gosh.
I got a love-hate relationship with Rashford, and everyone knows it. I would keep Rashford. I
He's
think
so bad. He's
I
so
need
bad.
him. I need his girlfriend and him to sort out their problems. You know, him and Martial are the opposite, innit? When Martial's having marital problems, he's playing good.
Yeah, I know.
Rashford, when
I was
he's
gonna say.
having problems, he's not playing good. I need him to sort out his domestics ASAP.
That's
so
hilarious.
he could get
That's
so he could get
hilarious.
back into form. But also, I have a love-hate relationship with Rashford. I genuinely feel like, yeah, I think he's got one brain cell between him and his girlfriend, but I genuinely think he's a good player. I think he's a good player. I think, you know what, his talent in terms of his raw talent is something I
Yeah,
think you don't find in a lot of players. I don't think that. And you look at when he plays for England, he plays way better when he plays for England. International team, he
yeah.
plays a lot. He plays a lot better. Maybe if he wasn't starting for United and he was a bench option, all right, cool. Maybe the pressure's off his shoulders and he can perform well, because that's what happens at England.
Maybe.
But then again, 250k a week, he's not coming off the bench. Manchester born and bred,
I'm
he ain't
saying
coming off the bench.
we're left in a predicament now because next season when we have a new football structure, everyone's going to be talking about, oh, Rashford needs to get back into form. Rashford needs to get this. Rashford needs to get that. Like, we're going to be talking about the same stuff time and time again. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And that's where, for me, like, I'm just tired. Like, oh, you know what? We got to wait for this guy to do some work. Like, I'm just, you know what? Just get players that are just good. You know what I mean? Bold Martial. Now, that was rubbish, actually. That was a rubbish. That was 2020, 2021,
Yeah,
20. Yeah, that was a bold. Hey?
it seems like United played Rashford and Martial played their best, yeah, in lockdown. Let's be honest. That's when there was no fans. When there was no fans, that's when they.
Yeah, I know. But the thing is,
they played their
you
best.
can't say, oh, you know, when there's no fans, you know, I mean, we're going to be playing well and whatnot. Like that can only happen for so long. Like, you know what I mean? For me, we just need to just get players that are mentally strong. We need technical players. I think with United, we need technical footballers at our football club. Like, we need technical ballers. Like, if we could get players that know how to play football in every single critical situation, we'd be actually good, you know. But
Give me
problem
an
is, we don't
example.
have them.
Give me an
Hey,
example. Give me an example, because I was told
I
Donny
like
van der Beek
Barella.
was a technical. I was told Donny van der Beek was a technical player. I was told he was the
Oh,
technical.
okay. But obviously with the physical elements in there as well. But I think Barella's a very, very good player. I like Barella. Who else do I like in midfield? Ooh, tricky. Trying to think now. Also, you
Because
have to look at availability as well.
yeah. Okay,
I,
say
I
Casemiro leaves. Say Casemiro leaves next summer. Likely he will. Yeah. Ericsson
yeah.
on his last limbs. United need to sign a midfielder to partner Kobe Mainoo. Who are you going for? Who would you want? No, but price tag say up to 70.
Well, a CDM. I think the CDM market is low key washed. You know. I don't know if you
I think
noticed that.
there's people out there. I think
Who? Explain.
I would take Yusuf Fofana from Monaco.
But he's
He's
not
not a
DM
CDM.
though.
He's a midfield. He's a holding midfielder.
No,
He's a
apparently,
box
no,
to
he's not
box.
a holding midfielder. He's more of an 8 kind of like. He's not like a natural holding midfielder though.
I think this season he's playing more forward because his partner, Mohamed Kamara, another guy I would take, but I don't think he'll be sold. There's a guy at Leipzig, Haidara, I think his name is. He's pretty
Nah,
decent.
that was like 3-4 years ago. We were linked with
Nah,
him.
he's
He
decent.
again,
He's
like,
good. He's decent.
no,
I would take
I'm not
Mateus
really a fan
Nunes.
of him.
I would take Mateus Nunes, rotting on City's bench.
No, he's not not a DM. He's again not a DM. I
No, but I'm
wouldn't
saying a
want him as
midfielder.
well.
I'm not saying a DM. I'm just saying a
What
midfielder,
do you think,
someone that can
Paulinho?
partner.
Paulinho.
Paulinho at Fulham.
Yeah,
You know damn well that price tag is going to be like 150 million.
I know. Douglas Luiz, someone said. Douglas Luiz is actually a good player.
Douglas
But
Luiz,
again, he will go
people
for a
saying
high price as well.
Camavinga. I don't think Madrid are gonna sell him.
Nah, he's just signed a new deal for like 10 years.
And Madrid
he
only
ain't going
sells
anywhere.
players to United when they're coming to the end. You can expect
Yeah.
Modric maybe to come to United next year when they're ready to move him on. That's the only time Madrid will sell people.
Yep. 100%. So it's difficult, you know. It really, really is difficult because at the end of the day, like I said to you, you gotta balance everything together. You gotta, you know, and whatnot. It's difficult. It really, really is difficult, man. That's why I'm just like, you know what? I just don't want Ten Hag getting involved in anything. Like Ten Hag, you're not involved, my friend. You're not involved. That's all I want to say to him. You're not involved, my brother. That's all I would say. Everyone else can have their argument, but we have to have a recruitment team. Whether it's Claude Blanc, whether it's Paul Mitchell, whether it's any other guy who comes in, get me competent guy who knows what they're doing. And if Ten Hag isn't in the plans, that's gonna be it's gonna be good news for me because I don't want Ten Hag here anyway. So, you know what I mean? If they clash, innit? You know, we move. You know, if Carlo Ancelotti came in tomorrow, would you say no? Carlo Ancelotti.
Would he win? Would he win? Would he come to United and win? Because United we got a problem from the top down. How are we even sure
100%.
that Jim Ratcliffe is going to change it? We're hearing all this stuff in the press.
Yeah, true.
But really and truly, until
But he'd be also feeling to be like, you know what, I don't really know you, so you can go anyway. No sentiments involved. But I don't think he has the power to sack him anyway. I think it ultimately comes down to Joe Glazer. I don't think Jim Ratcliffe has any power to sack the manager anyway. But if we don't make Champions League football this year, that's where every manager fails, isn't it? And they get. But United, you know what's magic about this year is that United without Champions League football will lose a lot of revenue. You know, they will lose a lot of revenue. You know, how much do we lose?
how much is it from
Champions League
group
football?
stages? I think it's like 30 million if they don't get out of the group. I think I might be wrong. Someone let me know in the chat if you know the exact
I heard
figures.
it's 100 million.
Because I saw people saying that Arsenal have already made like 79 million this season from Champions League, just from group stages and winning a certain number of games and bonuses and all that kind of stuff. I don't know if it's true because I don't believe everything I see online unless it's verified. But if you don't know what the revenue numbers are for Champions League for specifically Manchester United, do let me know. Because I know in terms of revenue sustainability, Manchester United they are sustainable when it comes to revenue, whether they're in Champions League or not. You know, we're in Europa League for how many seasons? They had no problem with, recording record numbers.
I got a conundrum for you. If United win their game, but then Galatasaray Copenhagen win their game, one of them wins their game, United go into the Europa League. So would you want to win that game? If you knew you go to Europa League?
Yeah. Because I think it's a bad mentality these guys are already low on mentality anyways. So to then now tell them, if the other game's winning, just throw it, don't see it out.
You know, Ten Hag, if he goes to the Europa League, we're finished, because he's going to play a strong team every single game.
Not only that, there's some teams that are pretty decent in Europa League this season. There's some and we'll play round of 32. We're playing the teams that finished second. Right now, I think it's like Marseille are second in their group. There's quite a few decent teams.
Do we go in the group stage again? We go to group stage again,
we go to like the round of 32 where you play the people that lost, that finished second in their groups. And then, like when we played Barcelona last year, it was the round of 32 because Barca dropped from Champions League and we finished second in our group. So we will play the people that finished second in their groups and then the people that dropped from Champions League. And then after that is round of 16. So it's like a qualifier for the round of 16, basically. So you're right. It's two extra games that we play. Which I'm not for it. But also, I'm not for the thing of throwing a game away. Like, coming into this game, Galatasaray, I knew people saying, you know, let's not F Champions League. We ain't gonna beat Galatasaray. We ain't gonna beat Bayern Munich. But it's a bad mentality if you go into a game saying let's throw the game. Especially when these players, I think a lot of them are already weak-minded. So even if we beat Bayern and we don't go through, it is what it is. We go on to the Europa League, and if we have to hold embarrassment because we get hit in round of 32 or round of 16, or you know, we come across Sevilla again at some point in the tournament, so be it.
So be it.
So be it. But quickly before we wrap it up, on the weekend, and not just the weekend, month of December, we got a lot of big games. We got Chelsea, we got Liverpool, we got obviously Bayern, Newcastle,
Villa.
We got Bayern, we got Villa. I think the easiest game that we got in the next 6 games is Bournemouth. And even then, I can't say it's guaranteed.
They're in a bit of form. They're in a bit of form.
I can't even say it's guaranteed 3 points.
You can't. Because they've got a bit of form, you know, now. They got a little bit of form, you know. So, and they got a lot of PMP players. So, I don't know, you know. I don't know if it's going to be easy as what people say, but we'll find out.
Newcastle game, what are you saying? Result. Give me a result. 2-2.
2-2. Yeah, I don't think we're going to win. We'll nick a draw. We're going to nick it as well. We're going to nick it.
I hear it. And Chelsea next week?
I think we'll beat Chelsea. 3-1 Chelsea.
That's confident. You're saying we're scoring 5 goals in the next 2 games. Bear in mind, our striker ain't even hit form. Our striker ain't hit form in Premier League.
I know, but the thing is, we are now scoring a few goals here and there. But Premier League was struggle. Obviously, everything we scored, but like Premier League was struggling. But you know, this year, I keep saying to myself, do I give Man United credit? Because if that Garnacho goal didn't come here, do we end up winning that game and scoring that game? Like, you know, Martial, we got a penalty at the right time for us. I feel like we're getting a bit of fortuitous moments, which, don't get me wrong, I'm buzzing about it. But I also think, like, you know, we need to see us score like goals where, you know, we like yesterday, Garnacho was a good. That's why I think yesterday I was so pissed off because we played well. We didn't play badly yesterday. We played all right.
Listen, I don't think we played well. I think first half, I think United played well.
Harsh.
I am harsh. You're being realistic, innit? Because you're being a realistic person because of the way that the season has been. But I don't think it's sustainable to be playing end-to-end football like that, where you can get torn apart quickly. I don't think it's sustainable.
So if it's not sustainable, so then where does it go then? How does it become more sustainable then?
We get our starting 11 back. You know, Manchester and Ten Hag has not played with all the players he's signed. You know that. He ain't played in 90 minutes with them. How can we say, oh, he signed all these players, but he ain't even played them together? He hasn't had.
He's never going to play them all together, though.
Because he won't ever
play them all together.
One of them's always going to be out injured. It is what it is. But I know you got a bounce because you got big 6 now. So big up.
Yeah, big up.
The channel, man. You know what it is, guys.
Always.
You're always welcome here. If you want to see him back often, make sure you smash the like button. It's as simple as that. If you want to see him back,
if we get 200 likes on this video, 200 likes, yeah.
You lot heard him.
We'll do this again, definitely.
You lot heard him. But big up to everyone in the chat. Make sure you like the button on the way out. Make sure you subscribe. Until next time, big up Saeed, man. Always a pleasure. I'm out, guys.
Peace. Always. Big up. Peace.